nervous. Every time I come on this mic, I get nervous. Stella Rosa. Tonight, yo, I cannot get this right. I've recorded and deleted and recorded and deleted. I know about like 6 times. So after this, if I don't get it right tonight, I'll do it another time. I'm just gonna give. Welcome back to my channel. For the ones that don't know, I am Sheree Monique, hence my channel's name. And tonight, I wanted to connect with you guys on a different level. So I was like, why not give them a story time? So with that said, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I'm kind of excited because I'm actually a real private person and I never share anything. Some people feel that I'm sneaky because of it. I don't get that. But if you end up liking this, video, let me know. If you don't, let me know that too. Be real with me because I do want to, really kind of, give y'all content that y'all feeling. You get me? All right, without further ado, let's get into this story time. All right, you guys. So a while back, I was talking to this guy. We're gonna call him John. John was dope. Like, John literally was everything when it came to waiting on me hand and foot. So if I needed gas in my car and he saw my tank was on like a half a tank, he'd be like, hey, you can stay at the house. I'll take your car and put gas in it. Like, he was just like that. He would put gas in my car and go wash my car and vacuum my car out. And if I needed an oil change, he could do stuff like that. So he put the oil in my car and did the filter stuff. Like, he was just like that. And to me, watching my dad do stuff like that for my mom, it always was something that I wanted my guy to do for me. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but that's what I'm used to seeing. So that's what I wanted to see. A guy pretty much do stuff like that for me. So anywho, it was perfect. He did stuff like that. Whenever we went out, he handled the bill. Like, I don't think I never had to handle anything as far as paying the bill or whatever when we went out. And if I wanted to, like, it would be, I wouldn't say like an argument, but it'd be like a little tussle. He'd be like, nah, put your money away. And I'm like, no, at least let me get this one time. So yeah, it was that type of thing. But he was really nice. He was sweet. But everything went downhill. So we ended up going to the waterfront for one particular date. Man, and it was crazy because the night was perfect. Like, we went to the waterfront. They were playing out their little Caribbean music. Like, everything was everything. We were having a great time. And by this time, I think the waitress, either she brought us our menu or our food or something. And at this time, we were a little tipsy too, because we really hadn't had any food that day either. So no, she was, dang. Okay, yeah, so we were at the waterfront. And this particular night, they had the music playing at the waterfront. They had like the grills and stuff going. It was people out there dancing, like, and it wasn't any like crazy, like ratchet stuff. No, it was like, that chill vibe. Something you can do a little two-step, a little wine too, or whatever. So we were having a good time. So as we're having this good time, the guy, number one, he had shades on at night. I don't know why he felt like he needed them, but he had them on. So he had the shades on that particular night. And I remember he took his phone out his pocket. He was like, let me take a picture of you. Lord and behold, this boy go pull out the phone. As he's looking down, I'm looking at his shades. I can see what's in his phone. As he's opening his phone, y'all, this guy had naked photo after naked photo after. I don't know who the girl was. He claimed it was his baby mama. But anywho, I looked and I was like, yo, who is that in your phone naked? Now, by this time, we had been talking for a little bit. So I'm thinking he ain't talking to nobody else. Because he had kept asking me to be his girl. And I kept kind of putting it off a little bit. I was like, hey, let's not rush. Let's take our time. Let's see where things go. Well, I'm asking like, yo, who's that in your phone? Long story short, he told me it was his baby mama and they were old photos. However, I knew that was a lie because I saw the timestamp on the photo. But you know what? I let that slide, and I made a mental note. I said, okay, he want to do him. I'm gonna start doing me. Did I? No. And that's the thing I be hating. Sometimes I be like, girl, you be too nice. But back then I was, but not anymore. As time progressed, we continued to talk or whatever, but it was kind of like I was on edge with him because of what took place. So, so things, you know how stuff could be going great, but something feel off and you can't put your finger on it, but you know something not right? Yeah, that's what started happening. Now, initially, I thought I was being paranoid because, you know, seeing what I saw in the phone. But then I was like, no, something not right. Something is off. Like, yeah, he's being the perfect gentleman, but something's off. And I could not put my finger on it, y'all. So out of nowhere, as time progressed, he started to get a little more possessive, as if I really was his girlfriend. And, you know, I could kind of get it. You know, it's just, well, I thought he was just talking to me and I him, you know, because on my end, he was the one I was talking to. But at that time, like, I wasn't really ready to jump into a relationship with him. And then plus two, look at what transpired. Come on now. He's starting to get a little more possessive. He's like, yo, anytime I'm in my phone, he's looking over my shoulder. He's trying to see who I'm texting. Somebody call, he's like, who's that? And I'm like, yo, why you, what you doing? Like, why you being so jumpy? Like, chill out. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's kind of like a turn off. Because number one, I don't give indicators that I'm that type of person. You know what I'm saying? When I'm with you and it's us, it's us. Like, you don't have to worry about anybody else, okay? From time to time. And I think as time progressed, that's what started to give me that crazy feeling. Like, he was still being a gentleman, but this dude was just always in my phone. Who that? We go out, somebody looking at me. What are you looking at you for? And da, da, da. And he was the type that'll like go approach somebody. Like he was just that dude. Like he had hands. He was that type of guy. So he kept being like that, and I was like, yo, you need to chill out. Like, yo, we good. Like, stop being like that. It's not cute. It's not a turn on for me. And he was like, all right, I'll try to work on it or whatever. And the whole time while this is going on, I started noticing little things about him, but I didn't really say much about it. So after the whole baby mama naked photo incident, I remember a lot of times he would get calls from like private numbers or numbers that weren't saved in his phone, and like little stuff like that. Like it was just weird. Like just stuff started happening, and I asked him, I'm like, okay, who that? Because he asked me, and he'd be like, oh, it's nobody, or a telemarketer, or I don't know, it's a private number. So I'm like, go ahead and answer. He was like, no, it's probably my crazy baby mama. Mind y'all, I didn't tell you. I'm thinking this dude got 2 baby mamas. Later on, I found out he had 3. Y'all, that was... By the time I found that information out, though, I was already really into him, like really feeling him, like on the verge of saying, yeah, I'll be your girl. Like I done met his family. We went out together like all the time. We chilled all the time. Like, yo, like I was really on the verge of being his, you know, girl. And by that time, and you know, he played it so well. I'm telling y'all, yo, he played it so well because he knew that if I fell for him, I would continue to let certain stuff slide. So anyway, after finding out that information, it kind of made me look at him sideways for real. Now I was like, all right, dude, like what you got going on? Anytime, ladies, you start feeling that little nagging feeling, pay attention. Like if you start seeing red, little tiny, even if it's the smallest red flag, pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times that could be your way out. It could mean, hey, you need to dip. So, time continues to pass. Yeah, I was still there. Time continues to pass. And I remember this particular night, I can't remember. Some number just kept, I think it was a private number or it was some number, kept calling him and he would not answer. And I was like, yo, pick up the phone because I noticed you do that a lot. Like, you always worried about who in my phone, but you don't ever answer your phone calls around me. You don't do this, or your number always, you know, on, you know, your phone always on silent or whatever. And he was like, no, it's nobody. It's probably my other baby mama. She doing this, that, and third. Man, I never been the type to even want to date a guy with multiple baby mamas. Let alone, like, no, I never, shucks. I always actually said I wanted to be with a guy that didn't have those issues, because I didn't have those issues as far as the baby daddy and stuff. Time passed on, and I was like, yo, go ahead and answer the phone. He was like, no, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. So then I said, okay, cool, I got you. So he started noticing that I didn't like that stuff. He was like, all right, I'll go ahead and answer it. But by the time he answered it, they weren't there. I was like, yeah, you took too long. He was like, well, it was probably nobody anyway. Here's where it goes down. So one particular night, I visited him. Mind you, he didn't know where I live, and I know that seems crazy, but no, I had went through a situation, and I'll talk about that at a later time. But I just stopped letting people know where I live. Period. Like unless like I knew you for years, you would not know where I live. So yeah. So this particular night, I remember we went somewhere, we had a few drinks, and we went back to his place, and we were chilling, but we were really like tipsy. Not no drunk stuff, but tipsy. So I remember laying out this particular night. I was on one side of his bed, and I was literally like out, like hands out, everything. And he had a big bed, so he was on the other side, and he was out. He was like, yo, I'm spinning. I was like, well, I'm not drunk or anything. I was like, I'm a little buzzed, but I'm like, I'm okay. He was like, man, I think I'm going to go to sleep. Now, he was like, yeah, I think I'm going to go to sleep because, man, I'm tired. And I was like, yo, that's just the liquor talking or whatever. And he was like, well, I'm going to go to sleep. I just can't deal with this. Now, prior to this point, he had been always like trying to go through my phone. He would ask to see my phone for little crazy reasons, and I knew what he was doing, but I ain't had nothing to hide, so I'd be like, all right, go ahead. And then anytime I asked him, he wouldn't give it to me right away. He'll always wait till later, and I'd be like, all right, give me your phone. And then if I asked later, that's when he would give it to me. But I didn't, you done deleted everything. I wasn't stupid, but I played along with it. So that night, something was like, yo, when he go to sleep, go through his phone. And I was thinking to myself, like, dang, I ain't learned his code or nothing like that. Yo. So I was like, dang, I don't think I need to go through this phone, man. You know how you had that feeling like you gonna find something if you do it? Man, my heart started, when I thought about it, my heart started racing. I was like, oh man, we about to do this for real. We about to do this? Yeah, we were about to do it, man. So I'm sitting there laying on the bed. He passed out. Like within a couple of moments, like he was out cold. So I remember I was getting up to go to the bathroom, and he kind of turned. So his body wasn't on the bed all the way. So I kind of like nudged him. I was like, hey, get on the bed. He was like, I was like, get on the bed. And he giggled or some weird stuff. And then he was like, all right. So I remember he got on the bed. He was like, where you going? I was like, I'm going to the bathroom. He said, oh. Next time I know, he turned over and he didn't ask me nothing else. So by that time, I saw his phone, and he had his phone. It was near him, but it wasn't like underneath him. You know what I'm saying? So I remember when he turned over, I went to the bathroom. I sat in the bathroom maybe a good 2-3 minutes. The whole time I was in there, I was coaching myself through this thing like, girl, you're going to try to get this phone, and you're going to try to get some numbers, and you're going to try to do this, that, and the third. Like, I was really talking to myself. Man, I was like really talking myself through this thing. I was like, yo, we going to do this. Like, something not right. Yo, just put yourself at ease. You're going to check his phone. Yeah, you feel a little nervous right now, but you ain't going to find that. It's going to be okay, and everything going to be cool. So, by that time, I knew I was in the bathroom at the most about 5 minutes. As I walk out the bathroom, I hear him snoring. So I'm like, okay, cool, he out. And I don't think he ever really snored like that. But he was snoring that night, so I was like, yeah, he out. So I walk in the room, and I remember I grabbed the phone, and then I walked out. But I had tiptoed, and it was real quiet. So I took the phone, man, my heart beating out my chest, yo. I'm sitting there thinking like, yo, all right, so what's next? So I walked out of his room, and I stood in the living room. The lights were off in the living room. That way, if he, popped up or whatever, he wouldn't really see what I'm doing. So I was in the phone and I'm sitting there putting numbers in. I'm trying his birthday. I'm trying like other little numbers or whatever. And I thought, wow, I stopped because I didn't want to, disable the phone or lock myself out the phone or whatever. So then I said, dang, man. Well, and number two, it was also the one where you had to put your thumb on for the print. I said, well, dang, how in the world am I getting this phone? Something said, use his thumb. So I was like, man, this is crazy. So, and honestly, y'all, I thought it could have been a looker talking to me. It could have been. But you know what I did? I walked right in that room. This dude was out cold, so cold that he did not feel me use his hand. So I moved his hand and I put his thumb on the phone. It opened up and I walked out. I go to the bathroom. Mind you, I'm tipsy now. I went to the bathroom. I sat on the toilet and I'm looking. The first thing I opened, I started seeing text messages from unsaved numbers. And so I'm clicking on some of the threads and it's like, hey, where you at? What time you coming over? You still coming over tonight? You gonna answer my call? Like, it was just different. And this crazy thing was, it wasn't just one thread for one number. It was like different numbers, like, hey, how you doing? Thank you for coming over. I thought you looked good. Like, they were talking about crazy stuff. One of them was, yeah, if you give me a few minutes, I'll go get the condoms. And it was craziness. So, you know how you get mad and you start feeling the heat rising? That's what I felt at the moment. I was like, I was already tipsy, but I was really feeling like some type of way. I was like, this sorry dude. Like, the whole time you worried about what's in my phone and you doing this. So at that time, I think I dropped the phone. And when I dropped the phone, it closed. I was like, oh, I was nowhere near finished looking through that phone. Because I still had to go... This is sad. But I still had to go through the Instagram, the Facebook, I think, what else? It was something else. It was some other little stuff that I ain't seen before. So I said, dang, man. So I go pick up the phone, look at it. I done got locked out. Something said, go get his thumb again. I said, dang, man, I'm going to get caught. But you know what? I went and I used his thumb again. He did not feel me that time. But the thing I did this time, I said, you know what? If he happened to wake up, I don't want him to snatch the phone from me. So after I used his thumb, I kept my hand on the phone to keep it open so it wouldn't close. I grabbed my keys. I walked in the living room. I slid on my shoes and I walked downstairs. I got in my car and I couldn't really drive like that. So I pulled my car into the side of the building. That way, if he were to come out, he would not see my car. Turn my lights off. I sat in the alleyway. It wasn't even like an alleyway. It was like a little driveway thing to his apartment building. I sat there, y'all. And when I say I felt the heat rising. This dude was playing me like no other. It didn't make sense, y'all. I was like, how in the world you have time to do this? Like, you work all the time, and then when you're not working, we're talking or we're together. So how in the world, I found out he was still smashing his baby mama. He was still in love with the other one. The other one he was cussing out, but still trying to smash. And then I saw he was taking girls to breakfast and stuff, and then trying to take other people on dates. And then the saddest part was, I was going through everything in that phone, y'all. And I just felt my whole body at this time. I was popping sweat. I was that mad. And the embarrassing thing about it was he was getting turned down. Like, I remember he was in the Facebook app. Sitting there, hey, how you doing, beautiful, blah, blah. Half of the girls left him on red and half of them was like, nah, I'm good. I'm not interested. Going about your business, whoop-de-whoop. Now, there was a few that was like, yeah, you can take me out, whatever. Sending him addresses and stuff. Y'all, it was so crazy. Like, I was so mad. I wanted to break that dude's phone. So, after going through all that nonsense, I collected myself in my car, and all I had to do literally was back my car up, and then like go towards this way, and then park my car back. So I did that. And I sat in the car and I got myself together. Like, yo, I was flipping out. Like, I was really pissed because I'm like, yo, I'm a dope female. Like, nobody could tell me different. And you sit here and trying to make it seem like I was the one doing stuff whole time. You was playing me behind my back, and I didn't even know how you had the time to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm still tipsy. I'm real upset. I'm walking up the stairs. Time I get in the house, like, I walked in the living room. I think I kind of slammed the door a little bit. And I think that's what kind of, I kind of slammed the door a little bit and took my shoes off. So it's still dark in there. I'm looking in the phone. I still got the phone open, looking at some other stuff. I was like, yo, this nigga ain't ass, man. Next thing I know, that light flipped on. What you doing? I looked up at him, y'all. That was the most nonchalant I've ever been in my life. I looked up at him. And I was like, man, F you. I kept looking at the phone. He was like, yo, is that my phone? I was like, don't worry about it. I was like, who is this? And I started naming all the little names that I saw in there. He was like, what you talking about? Why you got my phone? Why you got my phone? And see, that's another thing, ladies. When he's more worried about the phone than how you feel, oh yeah, it's time to go. Yo, we started arguing. Like, and this is the first time I've ever seen him, like, yo, he went in on me. Like, he was... Yo, the dude is already tall as all get out. And then he's like, yo, what you doing with my phone? So he's trying to get to me to get his phone. I'm not trying to get him his phone. I'm like, yo, you always in my phone, so I can't be in yours now. So who is such and such? So he goes to try to snatch the phone from me, and then I just threw the phone, and it hit the floor. I think it did crack a little bit. He was like, why you in my phone? What you doing anyway? I was like, so you worried about the phone, but you not worried about what I saw? So, yo, I'm saying, yo, it was some explicit stuff in there. Like, when I say some crazy stuff, like, dude, yo, he was stroking everybody. He was smashing everything with two legs. I ain't lying. Literally smashing everything with two legs. So I was like, dude, like, what is wrong with you? So we going at it, yo. So when I feel some type of way and I'm really into it, my hands start moving like this or whatever. Like, I really get, like, really dramatic with my hands and stuff. So he goes and starts grabbing on me. And I'm like, no, get off me. So I'm pushing him. Mind you, I'm already tipsy. And number two, I knew I wasn't really, like, I was there, but I wasn't really thinking it through. Because how in the world I'm going to push this big dude? You know what I'm saying? So I go to push him. Man, he grabbed me and slammed me in the chair and was like, sit down and stop acting crazy. And womp, 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 womp. And yo, like, I'm sitting there trying to get up out the chair and he won't let me go. And like, this was literally the first time I had ever seen him spaz out. And it kind of, although I was upset, it kind of like frightened me because he went like, yo, he was a different person. Like, he was a totally different person. Like, I did not think it was in him. After a while, like, his big body just sitting there, like, like, he didn't hurt me, but he was holding on to me and like pushing me down in the seat so that I'll chill out and calm down. So then after a while, I got tired. We were just sitting there fussing, calling each other names and all this, that, and third. And long story short, I burned out. So I just, like, gave up. Like, all my energy was gone. So he was like, why would you go through my phone anyway? I was like, you know what? After it's said and done, yo, I saw enough. I'm done. He was like, you ain't no effing done with me. Then that's when I knew he was kind of off. I was like, what you mean? And I bust out laughing. He was like, oh, you think this funny? You think it's funny? So he goes to grab me again. And he like kind of, he wasn't shaking me, but he shook me a little bit. He was like, you think this effing funny? You playing with me? I was like, nigga. I was like, man, the whole time you've been playing me. And you worried about me playing you? I was like, really? And sidebar, ladies, I'm telling you, whenever you feel like something is not right, it's not right. Like, we have that sixth sense. Like, we don't have to have any type of evidence. We don't have to have anything. Things could be perfectly fine, but on the outside. But, yo, if you have that nagging feeling something's not right, believe it. I'm telling you. Yo, so as we in the living room, he's still arguing and trying to get me to listen. After I done laughed, I kind of, like, calmed all the way down. Like, that, it blew me. Like, yo, all the y'all pictures, conversations, like talk of condoms and sex and how they enjoyed this, that, and the third. And I was like, dang, like, dude played me hard. Like, he played me hard. And the whole time he had me fooled because he was like that, you know, Prince Charming dude. So anyway, long story short, y'all. I remember trying to grab, so after he shook me and he realized I was like burnt out, he was like, just sit down, let's talk it out. I'm so sorry you had to see that, and I'm sorry for everything. Now, while he's talking, I'm not really listening to him. And he can tell, he was like, no, can you please listen to me? So I just look at him like, and so then he's like, I'm so sorry, you know, I just thought that you were trying to play me, so I just did it to protect myself, this, that, and that. And then I remember I was like, so if you felt that way, why even entertain me then? If you really felt I was doing something, why take it this far with me then? I was like, you done look through my phone, you done look at my messages, my texts, my DMs, my everything. Like, bruh, there was nothing there. So if you really felt this way in your heart, what was the purpose of you talking to me? Continue on talking to me. He was like, cause I really care about you and I love you. And like, he just started throwing a whole bunch of silly stuff out there that didn't even make sense. So as he's continuing to talk, I remember I got up, still tipsy, y'all. I proceeded to get up. And I grabbed my shoes. I went to his room. He was still talking. And I think as I'm walking in the room, I hear him get up and he's walking down behind me. He was like, will you just listen to me? What you doing anyway? I was like, don't worry about it. It's cool. And on daggone well I was tipsy, I started grabbing my bags. So as I'm grabbing my suitcase, he goes and grab my suitcase. And I'm like, yo, just give me my stuff. And then he pulling me and I'm pulling. So it was Patty for real. It was a whole bunch of dumb stuff. So we just sitting there yanking the bag back and forth. Then after a while, I was like, you know what, you can have the bag. So I walked out. He was like, no, I'm so sorry. Like, I really love you. Just please, man. See, you wouldn't be my girlfriend and this, that, and that. And I was like, why would I want to be a woman right away when I just saw, like, a couple of weeks back, you had naked photos of your so-called baby mama. Then he was like, but see, I told you it was nothing. It was old. I was like, bro, I saw the timestamp. And I remember I quoted him the timestamp. And, like, his mouth just dropped. He ain't had nothing to say. So then I will continue to walk. And as I'm walking, my keys were laying on that, by the door. And he saw that I was going to grab my keys. So he gets up, he passes by me, because, I mean, he's super tall and, like, his reach is crazy. And he goes and grabs the key. He was like, you ain't going nowhere. I was like, man, if you don't give me my keys. And I just bust out laughing again. I was like, bro, I ain't got time to be playing with you. Give me my keys, man. I ain't got time for this. You ain't going nowhere. You drunk. And you this, that, and third. And you mine. And I ain't letting you go nowhere. So he started talking all this crazy yin-yang. Like, I cared. And I was just looking at him like, so you gonna give me my keys today or what? Do y'all know this nigga really didn't let me leave? Like, yo, he took my keys. And I remember he took my keys. And he kind of like shoved me. And he was like, sit down. We not finished talking. And like, we were in the living room. So I kind of like flopped down in the chair. And I was like, are you serious right now? So like, I'm really like blown. Because I'm like, this dude is crazy. He know he dead wrong. And he don't want to let me go. He's like, you ain't driving. You drunk. You this and the whole time. I'm like, I'm not drunk. I'm tipsy. I can drive. Whole time I knew I didn't need to be driving. But anyway, so he's out there talking to me while we in the living room. And he's just trying to, you know, speak his piece. And he realized after a while it wasn't even getting to me. Like, y'all, for real, when you play me, when I know I've been nothing but great to you. Mind you, he was great to me too, to a certain extent. Now, when I know I've been great to you from point A to point B, and you play me, or you deceive me, or you don't be 100 with me, yo, we done. Like, I'm done. Like, as time progressed throughout life, my fuse had gotten shorter, and I was done. So he doing all this talking and pleading and begging and acting like he crying, all this stuff. The whole time I'm just sitting there like, all right, well, I want my key though. So anyway, Long story short, y'all, he ain't never get my key. He ain't never get my key, y'all. So he, what happened was that, he had my key and I was just sitting there folded up in the chair. And I remember I had like this little jacket and he was like, just come to bed and lay down. You can leave in the morning, but don't leave tonight. Just at least hear me out. I remember I took the jacket and I turned over and I just like had my back towards him and he was still standing there trying to plead his case. But at that point, I was done with it. So anyway, yeah. So long story short, after that, I woke up that morning, I got myself together, and I dipped. Like, he tried reaching out, he tried working it out, but I really couldn't forgive him. Like, I kept feeling myself harboring, like, those feelings, like, dang, like, dude, you really played me. And, like, I was really, like, falling for you, too. So anyway, I said all that to say this, guys, y'all. Whenever you feel like something is not right, 9 times out of 10, you are right. I don't care if everything is perfect and you end up feeling that little nagging feeling like something is off. Like, if you can't put your finger on it, you don't know what's going on. Like, yo, 9 times out of 10, you are right. Whatever you do, listen to that voice. I'm telling you, I learned to listen to mine and it has steered me in the right direction every single time, you guys. No lie. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into my story time. I hope you guys like it. If you do, again, go ahead and comment. Let me know below. If you liked it, let me know. If you didn't like it, let me know. Keep it real, and that'll determine whether or not I do anymore. Actually, I had a good time telling y'all this. I normally don't open up, so it is what it is. So until next time, I see you, fam. Bye-bye.